Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Jason here. Eugenia?
Hey everyone, my name is Eugenia and I'm a product manager here at PastorsLine. We're excited to introduce a new update for you that we've been diligently working on for months. We believe it'll enhance your experience and greatly improve your existing workflow within our application. But we also have Anne today, our customer support manager, and Jason, the creator of PastorsLine. How are you guys doing today?
Thanks, Eugenia. I'm doing great. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. I'm just happy to be here. I do have some tech issues. I did move to the country, so I may be trying to work on that in the meantime, but grateful to be here.
Awesome. So we at PastorsLine have been working really hard to develop a new feature that will make your life easier and your ministry communications more effective. Imagine being able to send messages directly from your church management system like Planning Center or PushPay CCB without having to go through PastorsLine first. So with the new PastorsLine Chrome extension, you can harness the power of texting any number from any website or send group text within Planning Center or PushPay CCB dashboard, all without leaving your browser. To get started, you just simply install the browser extension, sign in, and you're ready to go. But before we dive in, some of you might be wondering, what is Chrome and what is a Chrome extension?
Definitely. So, just to say, I would love to know where you guys are coming in from. So, in the comments area, just let us know where you're hailing from. And as you continue, if you have any questions, please post it. It is a live webinar. We would try to answer as much as your questions, as much questions that you have over time. So, sometimes we may stop and answer those. So, again, if you're coming in, I do have a little bit of an audio technical issue. Hopefully, are you guys hearing me? My video might be fuzzy, but I think you should be hearing me. All right. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Am I audible to you? Could someone post that in the comments? So we have Michigan. Welcome, Charles. We have Tamara. We have Shelly, Peg, Charles, again, Steve. Thank you so much for showing up. All right, so you can hear me. But again, done is better than perfect. I could not get to figure this thing out, so we will get started just as it is. All right. So the question was, why a Chrome extension? The number one browser. Well, let me ask you this. How many of you guys use the Chrome browser versus maybe something else like Edge, Firefox, or Safari on a day-to-day basis? Not what you use personally. I know a lot of people are using browsers like DuckDuckGo and Brave to protect themselves, but what are you using generally for like church or business? Edge, Chromium. Yeah, we use Edge, exclusively Chrome. So that's one of the things. The Chrome browser is one of the more popular browser and is an option for you. So that's why we chose it. In fact, we are 2-1 today. Both Anne and Eugenia uses Chrome. They have MacBooks, but they use Chrome exclusively. I am on a Windows and I also use Chrome. So we decided to start with Chrome. And the other thing is a Chrome extension is like a little helper app that you could install. Anyone using Chrome extensions or other types of extensions to within your browser environment, if you can let me know that as well, I would love to know. But it extends the functionality of your website, right? So that's why we started with Chrome, and that's why we are looking into. That's what a Chrome extension does. I think it will allow you to do so much more within your church management systems as well as outside of it. All right. So if it's still unclear, please hang on. We're going to show you exactly what we mean. You'll be able to ask questions. So hang tight.
Thanks, Jason. And if you're watching this live, thanks for attending. Please post your questions in the chat throughout, and we'll do our best to answer them. And if we're unable to answer them today, we'll make sure to get back to you by email. Also, make sure you stay until the end of the webinar to get 500 free credits just for attending today's session. So let's go ahead and dive in.
So, Jason, Why would you need a PastorsLine Chrome extension?
That's actually so. As I mentioned before, the PastorsLine Chrome extension, we hope, will allow you to extend the functionality within your church management system and allow you to. The number one frustration that we have heard when using PastorsLine, and if you're using a system like Church, PushPay, CCB, Planning Center, etc., is if you want to send a message out, first you have to you'll create the list, then you have to come to PastorsLine, then you have to resync. You would have to wait. Sometimes there's a little bug, there's an issue, or there's a server connection. You have to go back, come back, and we understand that frustration. So the Chrome extension would actually allow you to send through, once you install the app, send a message from within your church management system. Not only that, but as well as other websites. One thing, if you're a Planning Center user, you might have heard about the add-ons API. It's a fantastic thing that Planning Center have done that are allowing some vendors to actually tap into their UI and build apps directly into the system. Unfortunately, we weren't selected as one of the companies. I think they select 2 companies to start with, and we are on a wait list. We would have liked to do that, and if it becomes available, we would consider it. The other restriction that we saw, or potential issue, is that it's still being built out and it's still being discussed, but it may come with a revenue sharing or some increased costs. And that's something we are not sure that we'll be able to manage. So in anticipation of what that may or may not be, as well as what a Chrome extension does, it would allow you to do things within Planning Center or CCB or any other apps you use, as well as with outside of that, plus bringing more rich features. We believe a helper plugin for Chrome, then eventually Safari, Firefox, those would be actually a better option for most of us. That's what we believe. And it gives you pretty much most of the functionalities that you would want from something like an add-ons APIs. For those 2 reasons, we are on the wait list. We don't have access to it, as well as the potential cost price increase that we may see. That's why we chose the Chrome plugin. So, Regina?
All right. So thanks again, you guys, for joining. And make sure you stay until the end of the webinar again, just another reminder to get 500 free credits. So let's go ahead and dive in. So to actually get started, how do you install the extension and sign in?
So
Yeah.
so go ahead, Anne.
So you can either go to our PastorsLine website /Chrome-extension, and you can install it there, or you can search for it in the Chrome Web Store. It's called Text Anywhere by PastorsLine. Click on it, then you can go to Add to Chrome, add the extension, and then it's already been added, but you can go up here to your Chrome menu, and we highly suggest pinning it. So you just click the little pin, and then it will appear up here so that it's quick to click anytime you need to use that on any website.
Do you need to be signed in onto your PastorsLine account on desktop or mobile for it to work?
So no, you only need to sign in, as you can see here, through the extension. You don't even have to have a PastorsLine window open.
Awesome.
All right. I think you're not sharing. Are you signing in? I don't.
Oh, is it not sharing the pop-up?
No. I was seeing it early on, so it might just be. Oh, you need to share the window. Yeah. So once you have the plugin installed, as was suggested, you just sign in. So if you don't have a PastorsLine account, you would need a PastorsLine account. I think most people on this call are likely users. So you would go ahead and sign in, and once you sign in, I don't know if you have to reshare the whole number.
I'm sorry. Let me stop share and try to.
No problem. Do you guys have any questions so far? What questions do you have so far? or what questions do you want us to focus on, what you would need answers for. In the chat, you can go ahead and put that in. And bear with us, we haven't done a live webinar in so long, so everything that could happen wrong seems to be happening with us. So,
and it's still not sharing.
That's interesting.
Let me let me do the full screen. I think that's what I need to do. But then if one of you guys want to click present here in a second.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, so I think Tommy said it works great. Are you already signed into it? Tommy, you said it works great.
Whoop. There we go.
And Donna asks, what's the difference between this and just bookmarking the app? So yeah, that's the thing. If you bookmark the app, you still that's great, right? You would be doing everything in PastorsLine. Now, let's say if you have a new list that you created in CCB or Planning Center, and you want to send to that list, you'd have to go into PastorsLine, resync, wait, and then compose the message and send it. One of the other advantages is if you have volunteers, you probably don't need them to see all the stuff that happens within PastorsLine as we continue to clean house. You might just want them to go into CB, go into Planning Center, go to the list, and then send a message, right? So it simplifies the process. And I think you're going to see it in a bit of the nuances, a little difference. It's the ability to send a text within your church management system. So it's not just a bookmark, all right? So I think it'll be a clearer now as we are seeing the full screen. So, Anne,
okay. I was going to ask, are you able to see that now?
Yeah, we can. So we already logged in. So, Anne, continue.
Yeah, so the first thing that you'll see once you log in is you have the ability to send a test notification. You can see here, this is a test. Since I'm sharing my screen, it says details are hidden. But as long as you get that pop-up, then you know that your Chrome notifications are working. If you didn't get that notification, there are some troubleshooting, some help here. But once you've sent that test notification, or even if you want to skip and not send one, you can go to next. And then you'll see a list of, if you're a part of multiple organizations, you will see that list here. So you would just select the organization that you want to start sending your messages from.
Excellent. So now that we have logged in, this Chrome extension, as you can see at the very top there, we have two types of notifications that we give to you. We have the one that is built into the app. It will give you instant updates of what's happening. And then we have the Chrome extension notification, which you can turn off if you want, that follows you. So you don't have to stay on that page. You can be doing something in one of the church management system, and then you navigate away. If the message has been sent, if it's queued, we'll give you an update and we'll follow you around. So when you first log in, there'll be no sent message. Now, the main difference here, this first version of what we're doing, it's not the full app, right? It's the ability to send one-on-one and group messages, right, from outside of PastorsLine. We do have plans to actually bring in much more features in here, so you can actually use this Chrome extension. Let's say if you're navigating the website, you want to look up somebody really quick, send them a quick message. That's planned for the next phase, right? So the next thing so this is blank on the screen. As Anne mentioned, you would see the basic information, and it will let you know if that particular login is connected to the integrations that we are working with at this time. So the next thing, Anne, you want to talk through the profile menu and some of those other things?
Sure. So here we have your profile menu. It'll list your name on there. If you click that little caret, it'll bring you to the screen. So if you do want to make any changes to your PastorsLine profile, you can see this little box here will open up your My Profile settings in PastorsLine, and you're able to actually make any changes that you'd like to that on that page. If you need to change your email, things like that, that's where you would find that information. We also have where you can see, you can sign out if you need to. You can also switch organizations if you need to, skip to another campus or another church, and you can easily select whichever one it is that you want to switch to. And then we also have some additional settings, which I'll cover just real quick. You can see here the organization that you're sending from, and the phone number that you have set by default to send from. Now you can change this, as you'll see a little bit later on, before you send messages, but this is the default one. And then it also shows you your total credits that you have on your account. So the settings here is actually your Chrome extension settings, where you can change things like your default country. You can change the dark or light mode, however you would like. You can send a test notification to make sure that it's working. And then here we have a text icon that you can enable or disable. So Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, definitely. And I'm seeing your questions. Please continue to post those, and at some point in time, we will jump to them. So thank you for those. So yeah, one of the two main things, and we will jump into the meat very shortly. As you can see, we are not talking about fluff stuff. We're actually doing a quick demo. But one of the things you can do with this app is you can text anywhere. All right. So if you set the country region that you work with, if the number follows that E164 format, basically has the country code, has the area code, you would be able to text it. So let's actually show them how this works. So if you go to any website.
Yeah, and there's also an option where you can have it show on hover, or you can have it show all the time. So I'll show on hover first.
And that's the icon we talk about. So it's just, it enables this text icon on any website. So you can either have it show all the time. So any number that follows that format would have that little icon, or it can show on hover. So as Anne is showing on her screen over there. Mm-hmm. So you have that little icon there. And you have seen this before, possibly with Skype, Google. And once you click on it, you can be able to text that specific number. Now, this is just beginning to touch the utility and the productivity that you can use with a helper app like this. We are now scratching the surface. You can be able to possibly in the future scrape data, be able to do much more. Let's say if you're working with someone in Gmail and it's a new person coming into the church or you're chatting with, you can be able to capture their whole profile. You can capture the conversation if needed, and then have that sync over into, let's say, the app and things of that nature. So that's what we are envisioning. Those are apps that do exist out there, especially for businesses, but we would continue to develop based on your feedback. So the ability to text anywhere, and as Anne was showing you, she have the option to show it on hover, or you can just have it always show. That might be intrusive. Anne, what are we looking at here now?
Yeah, so this is just a random restaurant Google search, just as an example, but it pulls the phone number because it is in that format, and you can see that you've got that hover over. If I switch it really quick to all the time, just once you refresh your screen, those settings would apply just like on any app. But you can see the bubbles are already showing. So in this case, it's not too hard on the eye, but if you had, a list of phone numbers, it may be, you may prefer to have on hover. But this is what it would look like if it was show always. And you can either click the icon, or you can highlight and you can right click and then you'll see this new option in your right click menu where you can text, and it'll give you that same pop-up. And you're also able to edit the phone number. So in the case where maybe the phone number is not being recognized as a phone number, if it's not in the right format, you can actually highlight it, right click it, and you still have the ability to send a message to those numbers as well.
And let's go over to the spreadsheet and actually send a message, and we can see what that looks like. Go ahead. All right, so now that we have this specific information here, now we're going to send actually a test message and talk through the options that we have at this time.
Sure. So we've got the same merge fields that you're probably familiar with from our app. So you can still use, the first name. You can also add emojis. And here is, as I mentioned earlier, you can change your from number. So if you did want to select a different phone number on the account, that's what you would do. We also have integrated in your signatures. So if you wanted to change your signature, this is the same icon we use on PastorsLine. So all of this should be pretty recognizable if you are already using our app. But if I did want to edit that signature, we have this box here. You can change it as needed. Here's the preview of what it would look like, and you can insert it if you wanted. We also have the same character count and credit estimate, and then the send message.
So as you're sending, you see you instantly get some notification of what's happening. Now, some questions was being asked. I think this is a broken number. Some questions will be asked, and we can probably answer a few. Is everything in the extension? Can you do everything on the extension that you can do on the app? And the answer there is not yet. So you may have missed that. Currently, the first version is focused on the ability to send messages from within the church management system that you're sending, which takes away the wait. We would do all the resyncing for you. So if you create a new list, a new group, a new process queue, a new Planning Center list tag, whatever it is you create, you can actually just, once you add that plug, and we're going to show that in a bit, right? That'll be the final piece of this. You can be able to send a message. You don't have to resync. You don't have to wait. You don't have to refresh the list. We do all of that for you in the back end. Now, the back end of PastorsLine, the app still works the same. It's still being processed in the back end. We don't send to duplicate. If someone previously opted out, they would not receive the message. Obviously, if it's a new number, there's no data we have, so it will be sent. And that goes to the other question about would it obey the CCB communication preferences. That's something we have been asking PushPay CCB for a number of years if we can tap into that API. But since you're sending from a different number, the person has not opted out from that number. I think there's some ways around it. We'll continue to work with them, but it will respect the preferences, the opt-out options that you have done within PastorsLine. All right. Someone asks, is it only going to work for Chrome? Yes. We mentioned that at the very beginning, it's the best browser in order to be able to provide utility. So you can think about it, if you have to use PastorsLine, the best option for now is to be able to use Chrome. We do have plans to replicate this across the Safari and maybe Firefox. The way how we built our plugin, it should be able to replicate with some tweaks. But we would recommend for now, if you are wanting that additional option, if you want this additional option, the Chrome option, the Chrome extension, then yes, you would have to use Chrome. All right. Jessica asked, can this be used for incoming text? Yes. So that can be used with and without the Chrome extension. That's just the default PastorsLine option where you can actually set up a number, text here to a keyword, and that's a keyword auto reply. So you don't need the extension for that to work that way. So this extension again just gives you the ability to manipulate the website data where you can have a send text messages, and we're going to show you what we mean exactly. You already saw how it works on a one-to-one basis, so you're going to see how it works within the app. And we have one other question here for now. Sounds like someone would need to be a PL user in order to use a PL text from CCB. Yes. So if you have multiple users that you in your system, you would have to create at least a profile for them. Once you create a profile, they don't necessarily ever need to log into PastorsLine unless they want to respond. If their only responsibility is to send a group text to a list, process queues, etc., you just create a profile. They sign in. They open Chrome. They sign in with their credentials, and then they would see an option within church management system within your church management system in order to send a message. All right. Version. We have plans to continue to improve and do more. I think you would like what we are doing as we continue to develop it with your feedback. All right. And so Eugenia, let's dive in.
All right. So, sorry, dual Chrome extension. Let's dive into the heart of it. As you can see, It works on any website to send one-on-one text, but the real beauty of it is when you use it within the PushPay CCB or your Planning Center dashboards. So before we start that demo, what are some of the additional features the extension unlocks within the PushPay CCB and Planning Center?
So I can speak of some of the benefits. We will, I think Jason might have mentioned it, but we'll resync your people, ensuring that the latest members are updated before we send your message. You don't need to wait for the process to finish or to worry about setting up a new synced group in PastorsLine and hopping back and forth between your tabs. If the lister group doesn't exist in PastorsLine, we'll actually create it for you in the background. So we would sync that list in your PastorsLine account just from a click of sending that text message through the extension. Also, if you are a user in PastorsLine, I know that we've had a lot of feedback about sometimes it's difficult for users that are added to the account to have access to the right lists without their admins first assigning them the list. So our logic here is if you have access in Planning Center or CCB to that list, you should also have access to sending messages through PastorsLine. So what we'll do is we will actually automatically sync that list and assign it to you so that you are able to send and receive messages to that list or that group or that process queue or that saved search, whichever it is, however it applies. We also, as mentioned, keep you in the loop with notifications on the progress of the messages sending. And for group messages, we actually will provide a summary of the analytics. So if the message was successful. So I guess, are we going to go ahead and demo that or?
Yeah, let's jump into it. So let's start with Planning Center. In fact, that was one of the other questions that came in after. They would like to know how it works within Planning Center, and we'll definitely show you how it works in PushPay CCB as well.
Okay. So here we are in Planning Center under People and under Lists. And just for an example, I'm just going to click on this test group here. And you can see right here, we have it's actually embedded into the website, a send message via PastorsLine. If I click that, it opens up the same window we've been seeing. The other option we have is this drop down. If you see the send message icon and you click the drop down, you can also click send message via PastorsLine, and it will open up this same box here. So Jason, did you want to mention, just talk about real quick this kind of warning message that we show here and why we show that?
So our current logic is when you want to send a message, and if you're in PastorsLine, you go to, let's say, a Planning Center list, and that's what we're talking about now. When you want to send a group message to that list, you want to send it to everyone in that list except duplicates, opted outs, etc. So the beauty of this is that in sending it from Planning Center, you may actually update the rules or the list has changed. So what we'll do is we'll send it to everyone in the current list that you see in Planning Center, as well as any additional names that is in the matching group, if it's an existing group, right? So this is an existing group. If it will send it to everyone. The little warning below there that Anne was showing is just letting you know that there's other names that were added to, let's say somebody added it to the PastorsLine group, but they didn't update the rule for it to sync over. So it's just giving you additional option to see what that is. But pretty much we are able to send to everybody that you intend to. Maybe in a future update, if for some reason you wanted to skip those people that are only in the PastorsLine group that is matched, you can do that. But this, we believe, is the first initial intent. And the beauty of this, as I said, you'll be able to send to everybody, both the new people that you have just updated, you have run a search, new names came in, there was an overnight sync, those names have not made it over to PastorsLine yet. You don't have to wait to resync. You can just compose the message and send.
Yep. And you can also, if you are unsure, because these are the three that are listed that you can see who you're sending to. But if you want to see the members that you can't see that are on the PastorsLine side of things, you can click View Members and it'll give you a list of everyone who's not included on this list here that you're seeing. And then if you needed to make any edits or anything like that, you can actually click visit group, and it will open up that group in a new tab. So I can go back and I'm still in the same place. My message isn't scrapped or anything like that. And I can see the full list of the people that I'm going to be sending this message to. So I have already created this message. We already showed you about merge fields and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and send the message. And you can see message queued for sending. I did send another one earlier after we got that because I used a bad phone number the first time. Sorry about that, where it failed. But so we did have this, I did this message shortly after, and it updated to sending, and it'll continue to update. So this one's currently queued, and it'll keep updating kind of as the stages change, it'll update.
And that's one of the things that we wanted to make sure, because you're sending this message from within the application, you may not need to want to, or as you can see, there's additional Chrome notifications there letting you know of the status. So this gives you again just outgoing messages, what's happening. So we are doing the resyncing for you, we are sending the message for you, we are doing the same process you would do, but again, you can send a message and walk away. So as you can see within Anne.
Yeah, so if I actually wanted to look at this group just to make sure that it was actually sending, you can see here it's still resyncing. But if I go to this scheduled message bar over here, it'll actually show you that message that I just sent. And it's showing as scheduled because, like we said, it's resyncing, it's doing all the backend stuff that it needs to do as of right now in order to get that message sent. And as soon as the resync is done, the message gets sent.
So a question came in here concerning the Planning Center and Chrome. So what we said earlier on is that Planning Center, for those who use Planning Center, you would have heard about the add-ons API. They selected 2 companies to start that project, and we weren't selected. So if you're looking for something that is built directly into Planning Center through that API, we don't have access to that. There's also an unknown cost. We were told that it's still being discussed, that there may be a revenue sharing or additional things like that, but they have not confirmed anything. So that might be cost prohibitive to us as a smaller company. We have been around for years, but we're still one of the smaller ones. So we're not sure what that looks like. We actually don't even know if it is cost prohibitive. So if you're looking for something like that, that's not available to us. So we looked at our roadmap, and one of the things we wanted to do was to create a helper Chrome extension. And we are going to start with Chrome because it is one of the most used and flexible browser system. Many of the other browsers are based on the Chromium platform. And eventually, based on feedback, we could possibly replicate this across not every single browser, but some of the more popular ones. So yes, if you would like to use Planning Center or PushPay CCB with the extension, you would need to have the Chrome extension set up, right? But we think it's the most flexible. Think about it like when I'm doing work, I'm going to use Chrome. Obviously, it doesn't preclude you from using other apps. And again, that's just within the restrictions. We try to be innovative enough to provide you a solution right now, because I know we have seen some people really wanting more options to use within their platform, and we just couldn't provide it. So this is, we think, it's a good option. And in fact, once we start to add more features, you're not limited to just Planning Center or Church Communicator, CCB, PushPay CCB. You can use this helper plugin in other apps, in other places, in Gmail and spreadsheets, etc., to be able to do much more than just within those apps. So that's what we believe. All right. Somebody asked, can I send a list of phone numbers, example, all 4 numbers in an Excel column? To grab and copy? No, not right now. It will have to be on the website. So it will have to be like a Google spreadsheet or something inside of the website, not an app locally yet. But that might be something that we can do where you can grab multiple numbers and possibly create a group message. We would definitely explore that based on what we think the best needed features are. And Steve asked about plans for the edge. And I just mentioned that we'll definitely start. We started with Chrome and we'll look at others based on popularity. Trying to support too many browsers may not make the best sense, but we'll try to support the browsers. The second most used browser in the United States is Safari. So that may be the next one that we'll look into. All right. All right. Anne?
Yeah, so just wanted to touch base on this again. You can see here are the Chrome extensions, the notifications, and it's telling us the syncing's complete, etc. So get those off the screen. And if I were to click here, you can see the statuses have updated again. So again, they will continue to update as we go along. So we can jump into CCB now. We integrate with CCB process queues, people searches, and groups. So we've actually been able to use this extension to message all those same things. So under processes, you can go into your queue. For example, this schedule a room. And this is where you would see the button to send a message. Again, this is all the same that we've been seeing for the other ones. As soon as you click send a message, we get that same message pop up. There's also this send a message here that you can click on. And if you were to actually go to the person's profile, say this is a step in the queue where you needed to text somebody something and you just wanted to do it from the CCB side, you can actually just text message that person straight from the profile, go back to that queue, mark them as done, and continue on. So definitely could be very powerful for the process queues. The same applies to your save searches. So under people search and save searches, you can go to, just pick a random one. On the save search, this is where you would find the send message button. Again, when you click it, all the same options that we've been seeing. I think that's it on this page. If there were any phone numbers showing, you should see the little bubble on there as well, as long as it meets that format criteria. And then groups. So let me find, I think I created a lot of testing in this account. Let me make sure this is the, let me just add myself really quick. So this is also can show you that you're able to add additional people on the CCB side, and they will also be included in your group message whenever you send it. So let me go back to the group. Sorry, let me just remove this.
And while she's doing that, there's another question that came in. I presume future versions from Daryl will allow texting to PCO groups. And yeah, that's something Anne reminded me of. Many people have asked about this for years. We'd have to double check. In fact, it'll be easier to extend texting within the entire app of Planning Center or CCB. In fact, we just have to manipulate the app, the extension, to expose the little send button. And you can pretty much, because you already integrate with us, we can do a lot more faster. We would have to see if there is an option, if there's an API now for PCO groups. We have checked a few times over the last few years, and it wasn't an option. Planning Center push people to use lists because you can create a list that is linked to a group. But we will definitely explore that as one of the next options, because I think it's really great. Even things like check-ins, if it's possible, if you're using the hosted version and you want the option to send a text to a parent we believe we are going to explore. And in fact, we would like you to tell us what else you'd like us to do next to add more productivity using this Chrome plugin as you start using it. So yeah, it's all those things are on the list, whether it's in Planning Center, CCB, or other integrations as we roll them out. And
yeah, so I was just going to send this message to this group. It's been queued for sending. I'll probably get a Chrome extension notification here in a second. And then also you can see here that it is queued. So the stats will eventually update. I wish we had some that were a little older, but since we had to sign in to show you guys how to sign in and all of that stuff, I don't have a good history to show you. But once the message is sent, the stats do, they'll refresh and they'll look, I don't know if so that'll look, you'll have the same information here that you do on our app, where it tells you the percent successful or the percent that failed. You would have access to that same information, and it would be listed right here.
exactly. Now, the stats do take some while to update, right? Because it can be different issues, the message might, but you can always go to PastorsLine and check it out. But while all of this is happening, messages are being sent, right? So it just takes some time to update the plugin. But this is really good for you, especially to know if, say, a message failed or what's happening. You don't have to wonder whether or not the message was sent because you're not in PastorsLine, you're in the particular app. It can keep you updated. You don't have to be in Planning Center. You don't have to be in CCB. You don't even have to. You can be on Maps, Google Maps, looking for, to get something to eat, and the notifications can kind of keep you updated if that's something you want. Okay. Another question came in about so schedule. Schedule is obviously is the next thing on our list, right? There's so many things that we put on our list, but the ability not only to schedule messages, to send picture messages is on the list. The ability to call, make voice broadcasts, and do one-on-one calls, that's actually the next phase of what we hope to do. So after we push this out to you and after you try it, we make sure and fix any kind of issues you're seeing, because we have been testing. We did a small group. There's still, as you install and use it, we definitely recommend just give it a test, a small group. Let us know anything that is wrong with it. We'll try to fix those quickly. Once we have it stable enough, the next rounds of updates will include the ability to schedule messages within the app. All right. But I think this really solves one of the use cases where, hey, I want to get a message out right now. I don't have time to resync and wait and come back. I just want to send this message right now. It works really well. Obviously, if you want to schedule a message, you can go to PastorsLine itself until we build that feature. All right. So I know a lot of people are expecting schedule. Give us a few weeks, not too long. The beautiful thing with the Chrome extension is that it's easy to extend, and that's why we pick Chrome and the browser. Even extend your current workflows, it's a bit easier to do. All right. And another question was about, is the extension only to check outbound traffic, or does it notify about inbound messages as well? So we mentioned that earlier on. Initially, it's for that use case of sending outbound messages. You can still be able to go to PastorsLine or your mobile app and see incoming messages. But one of the next version of this will include the option for you to have the whole app, or not things like campaigns and stuff, but the whole communication piece within the browser. So you can get people, groups, definitely messages. You'll be able to see messages, and you'll be able to see the conversation history. So as you navigate throughout the app, let's say if you click on a profile, what we envision, like what you see on the screen there, let's say if you click Jason Alexis and you open up that profile, the conversation for that person would show at the side. In fact, we are switching to a better technology soon. Do you have Tango set up there, Anne, in this setup? Probably not. Yeah, I think you do. But we are going to switch an option called Sidebar. It's Chrome Sidebar API. So it's no longer going to pop over. It's going to make the window small at the side. I think Anne could kind of show. And I think what it will do, you can open this sidebar panel, which will be like a helper. It doesn't disrupt anything you do within the messages, but as you continue to use the app, the helper gives you context. So you can see the conversations, you can see other things that we plan. So yeah, so like this is what she's showing you here. So this is like a sidebar option. So notice this is a Tango sidebar. It's a cool tool if you ever want to use to share step by step for some team member of how to do something. That's what the Tango app does, but we are going to use that philosophy. So as you navigate through the app, you have this helper panel that is always available and always there, whether it's the profiles, the conversations, make a call, and things of that nature. All right. You can also obviously close this by just clicking on it. So that's the option. So hopefully I answer that. Inbound messages is coming. So that's that. Eugenia or Anne, where are we? We almost finished.
Well, I think the next section is about some frequently asked questions, but I think we probably covered a lot. I don't remember if it's been asked, is are there any additional costs for these features?
No additional cost for the extension at all. The standard cost for using PastorsLine applies. It's a helper plugin. Yes, no additional cost at all.
And before we get into any future updates, if you have any other questions, now's the time to ask. I think we might have answered all of them so far.
Yeah, scheduling text is definitely probably going to be our number one request on this. Saw some comments about it. Yeah,
definitely. So you guys could actually go ahead and give it a try today. I just need to finish. Give me 30 seconds, guys. I need to set up the credits so you guys can get the credits giveaway. I just need to create a quick campaign here. It'll probably be a minute. But while we do that, why don't we not talk through some of the future stuff that we mentioned, and as well as remind them of how they can actually enable this Chrome extension. Just walk through that.
So as we've mentioned, scheduling messages is top of the list. Also adding images, probably the potential of adding the real videos. I know a lot of you guys have started using that and like it. So I think that's probably going to be a potential future add. Also sending voice broadcasts. So not only using this for the texting feature, but also for sending voice broadcasts, maybe even calling one-on-one. As we mentioned, being able to see all of your messages in the extension, and not just the ones that you've sent, but all messages incoming, outgoing. And then we're also looking into adding more of the church management software. So adding Breeze and Alvanto and MailChimp, some of the other church management softwares, in order to allow them to use this as well. Yeah.
And then finally, just kind of walk everyone through how to set this up for those who have joined us late. How do you get access and how do you install this?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, you can either go to our website, which is pastorsline.com/Chrome. And there is an option. There it is. So it's this website, and there's an option to install the extension there. You can also go to your Chrome web store and search just the word PastorsLine, and you'll see it's called Text Anywhere by PastorsLine. So those are the two ways you can get it right now. And then, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, thanks, Anne and Jason. We definitely encourage you guys to download the PastorsLine Chrome extension and see, how you can start using it to streamline your workflow and unlock the full potential of efficient communication. So yeah, if you have any other questions,
I think we're waiting just maybe another minute for the coupon code.
Yeah, just one more minute. So any other questions at all? I'm almost finished here, guys. I forgot to do this. Okay, I'm adding in the credits. So the keyword that you're going to text, give me one more second, click save. And okay, after I click save, now I go back to one other place. So this is for you guys to get. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate your time. Please, as you continue to use this specific plugin, please let us know what you would like to see. We picked this route because we believe it's the best of both worlds. It may require you just to use the Chrome browser, but once you install the plugin and you sign in, you'll volunteer, would not possibly have to use PastorsLine anymore, right? And that can help in specific workflows. And you can reduce the frustration of having to have your data always updated and resyncing and waiting. Obviously, it's not something we do on purpose. It's just something because of how the apps work, and how the technology is. We just have to resync. So if you are doing things immediately, this way is a good option. So please let us know anything that you would have, and we will take it from there. So thank you so much. I just have to, sorry, one more thing here, just log right in. And let me just link this group, literally 10 seconds. And some of you probably don't need it. I know some of you have to go. All right. And then let me find this group. Okay, so let's go ahead. We can go ahead now and text the keyword Chrome. Chrome to the number on the screen. Eugenia, could you put that in there for us? Tell us.
Yeah, for sure.
So the text the keyword Chrome, to that number, and you would get the bonus credit. So again, thank you for your time. Please let us know. Please let us know that what feedback you may have. Please use it. Test it first with a small group. Let us know instantly any issues you run into. We'll be proactively fixing anything because we are now putting this out into a bigger group. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.